Am I the asshole for throwing a party for my daughters after they were uninvited? My daughters, 11/10, both have purple hair. They love it this way and have been getting it dyed since they were 6, with caution. They were invited to a little girl's birthday, Halloween party under the condition they have their hair dyed a natural color. I asked why and the mother insisted their hair would take away from birthday pictures cause they'd draw attention. I asked if my daughters could just not be in the pictures and she said there's no way to guarantee that and to either dye their hair a normal color or they can't come. I said fine, this was like October 8th maybe the 9th. So I decided to throw a party for my daughters on Halloween since they won't be able to go to that one and invited her classmates. The girl was in a completely separate class. We had the party. Cake, bounce house, candy piñata and all that cool jazz. The girls had a blast and I posted a few pictures online. Apparently this was the wrong move cause the little girl's mother saw my post and asked what right I had to steal her daughter's moment from her. Her daughter saw the pictures and was upset she didn't get to come to the party because they didn't have the things we did. Her mother said I was an asshole for one-upping her just because my kids couldn't come to their party and that if I really wanted them there I would have just dyed their hair. Am I the asshole? Info. The invite was on the 8th as was the hair dye request. A week after we RSVP'd in the negative. I planned a Halloween party on the same day, October 31st, Halloween. I did not throw a party on some obscure day that happened to be her birthday for the giggles and the petties, it was a Halloween party on Halloween. Info PT2. That lady is in a completely different tax bracket than me. She had a pony, assorted teas catered and a wagon ride as well. The party I threw was a Frankenstein bounce house my husband had from a few Halloweens ago. A few piñatas from Party City and like $120 of candy and about $100 in snacks and some basic carnival games. Cornhole, balloon darts, sack race. For those who were wondering what the difference between the parties were. Not the asshole. What a controlling person. Yikes. She tried to punish your kids for their hair color. Not the asshole. What a bizarre request of the mother. If she didn't throw a fit about your daughter's hair color then they could have been at the party. Not the asshole. Actions have consequences. She decided to be a mean girl to your daughters just because she didn't like their hair. You decided to do something nice for your children since she was excluding them based on their hair color. I find it odd she cared so much about your daughter's hair color. I would think dyed hair would be okay for a Halloween party. Oh my god, not the asshole. This woman wanted your daughters to change their hair color for her daughter's birthday party? What the hell? What an entitled mom and, maybe, kid. You pulled the right move by putting your kids first and offering them and their friends a good time. Not the asshole. Most of my kids and friends couldn't have gone to that party either. They all have at least a streak of bright-colored hair. That is the oddest request for a tween party. Also, why do her kids have any access to your social media posts? They aren't old enough for most sites. Not the asshole. If she wanted her daughter's moment to be special, she should have let her friends come without being an unreasonable person about some cool colored hair. My first instinct is, not the asshole I guess, but is this what having kids is like? But for real. Info. Did you steal any of the birthday girl's guest list? 'Cause that's important. Not the asshole. That mom sounds too controlling, like a bridezilla of the kids' party. Side note. My daughter, 10, would love purple hair but has dark brown hair. Do you have a dye recommendation for me that might work without having to bleach it? I have tried a couple but they don't show on her hair at all. Am I the asshole for firing a guy for being late? A guy I manage is always late. 5:25 minutes, every time. Generally speaking, it's not a big deal and it had no effect on the operation, so I let it slide. These guys work on call, so even the most diligent guys are occasionally 5-10 minutes late. Most just call me, and give me a heads up beforehand. However, after noticing a pattern I spoke to this individual and said, if you are going to be late, I need you to call me. Just let me know, that way I can plan around it. Next time he is on duty, he shows up 25 minutes late. No call. I find him, and let him know that he is getting a formal reprimand, and the next time he is late it will be a 10-day suspension. That's the standard procedure. He tells me he is sorry, and it won't happen again. But then 2 days later my HR director calls me and says a complaint was filed against me for harassment. The guy was claiming it was the first time he was ever late, and that it was less than 6 minutes. Also that I allow everyone else to be late. I explain the scenario to HR but they are skeptical, and make me withdraw my formal reprimand, I am pissed and I start digging through records and security footage for the past 30 days. I find emails where I documented conversations, and 5 instances of him showing up 30+ minutes late. I gather this all and send it to our. They agree to reinstate the formal reprimand, but I insist that we go after him for dishonesty and insubordination, both fireable offenses. So, unless I withdraw those claims against him in the next 7 days, he will remain fired. I am secure in my decision, but I've heard some other guys whispering about me being a hardass. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Instead of taking the punishment, he tried to have you reprimanded. Not the asshole. At this point it's not just the lateness. He chose to escalate by going after you. I think your workplace is better off without a guy like that, to be honest. Not the asshole. But I insist that we go after him for dishonesty and insubordination, both fireable offenses. #GOOD. He lied. Not the asshole. You gave him a warning. Instead of saying, okay, I get it, you are the boss, and I will change my behavior, he went to HR and lied. Put you in a bad light and said you were harassing him. He thought he could get away with that, and bet the farm on the fact that you had no documentation or evidence. That right there is intolerable behavior, and the reward for that is a learning experience that he gets to go find another job, and he doesn't get to use you as a reference since you got him fired for cause, and he doesn't get to collect unemployment. Another thing, this is to teach him that HR represents the company, not the supervisor or employee. They will act on the evidence, and if there is a liability they will act in the company's best interest. Not the asshole. Make sure to document everything you do. This guy is going to sue when he gets fired, and he's already shown he's willing to lie. Plaintiff's lawyer's dream client. He knowingly lied about you, put your career in jeopardy, after all the chances you gave him. He could have swallowed the formal reprimand and done better as an employee, but he decided to be spiteful, and lie. So he gots to go. As an aside, why was HR so wishy-washy about the whole thing? Making you rescind the reprimand before doing an investigation into his claim or anything. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Instead of just getting to work on time, he decided to threaten your job. You made the right decision in having him fired. That working relationship would have been a thorn in your side for years to come had you not nipped it in the bud. It was you or him, and you chose you. Not the asshole. My company is very lenient with arrival times, lunch breaks, and leaving. Want to leave early? Show up early or don't take a lunch. Show up late? Let your boss know and make up for it by staying a bit late or cutting lunch short. It's amazing and I love it. This guy is taking advantage of a lenient system, then got called out for abusing it. He didn't like what happened and decided to escalate it by lying about the whole situation. Played a stupid game, won a stupid prize. Am I the asshole? I don't want my sister singing at my wedding? My fiancé, 28 female, and I, 30 male, are marrying next year. My sister, 27 female, sings at a band and they often do weddings and whatnots. So she told us to have her band play at our wedding. My fiancé told her we'd think about it. I didn't care much about it since we still have plenty of time to decide. But my wife later confessed me she doesn't like the idea at all. According to her, my sister has the bad habit of stealing the spotlight. Something I can agree with. The day we announced our engagement to my family basically took over the whole meal, talking non-stop. My fiancé thinks that singing at our wedding will turn into one more way for her to become the protagonist of the event. Instead of dancing and listening to a random singer, all our relatives will be paying attention to her on stage. I forgot about the issue until sister brought it up again. I want our wedding to be just as my fiancé wishes, so I told my sister, I actually would rather to not having you working on my wedding, just dancing and drinking with the rest of us. She insisted that she really would love to sing though. I thought the best idea would be to clear that up right there. Because she's really stubborn when she's set on something. So I told her no, we prefer to have a random band or DJ, that we want her to be one more guest. Sister is now super pissed at us for preferring to give our money to a stranger instead of her, not letting her participate, and not doing something about my fiancé always disliking her. My fiancé has never openly disliked her, so I didn't know she'd noticed. Parents think I was a bit of an asshole because of that too. My fiancé is glad I stopped her. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your sister's tantrum shows you made the right decision. Not the asshole. I wonder how much of that is a hit to pride and how much is giving money to a stranger instead of her, less than she wanted to get paid. Not the asshole. Use a DJ. No matter what you do, she will try to take the stage and sing. Be ready for that. Not the asshole. I have a similar sister and would feel the same. You 100% in the right in doing the right thing, standing behind what your fiancé feels comfortable with. Your sister reacting like this, if anything, is proving the point your fiancé was making. Not the asshole. It's your wedding and you handled telling her no fantastically. Not the asshole. It doesn't make sense for your sister to be the help at your wedding, even if you adored her band. She's family and she should be there to celebrate, not perform. You might consider having her sing a song as part of the ceremony to try to keep the peace, but under no circumstances would I let her be the main entertainment for the night. Not the asshole. Don't forget to set code words for canceling or changing anything wedding related. Don't want to suddenly end up with a mysteriously absent band, DJ only for sis to swoop in and save the day. Not the asshole. Your sister asked, and you said no, you'd rather have her as a guest. She didn't accept your answer and got really pushy about it. Just tell her you have some favorite songs that you enjoy hearing from the singers who released them, if you go with a DJ, and that you decided you'd rather have your sister as a guest. Your wedding isn't something she should look at like a lost money event anyways. You were absolutely correct to be straightforward, blunt with your stubborn sister. This gives her time to get over it, and if she can't, oh well. It's simply not her day, it's yours and your fiancé's day. Am I the asshole for exposing that my sister wasn't pregnant? My sister Katie and her boyfriend Mark have been on and off again for 15 years. They had a very bad fight and it seemed Mark broke up with her for good, but Katie revealed to him she was pregnant. Mark and everybody were so thrilled. There was a baby shower planned and a Google Doc shared with everyone on what they wanted. Then out of nowhere someone messaged me anonymously on Facebook and told me Katie wasn't actually pregnant and she was lying. I didn't believe it, but when I confronted her about it she confessed to me she wasn't pregnant. I told her she had to tell everyone the truth, but she refused and insisted she would get pregnant soon. I couldn't keep my mouth shut after I heard all the money people were spending on this imaginary baby. My parents bought a very expensive crib, other furniture, and the fancy baby shower was coming out of Mark's parents' wallets. People were buying items on their baby registry that were also very expensive. I texted Katie one more time, but she refused to tell anybody. I ended up emailing everyone. Katie and Mark broke up for good. And she isn't talking to me. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Trying to trap Mark was never going to work as a long-term solution for your sister. It's delusional of her to think that would fix all of her problems. You did them both a favor because at least she wasn't able to drag an innocent baby into her bullshit drama, and he definitely dodged a fucking bullet. Not the asshole. Your sister saw nothing wrong in conning people out of money for these gifts for a non-existent baby. Plus, she refused and insisted she would get pregnant soon. I now really feel sorry for Mark as well. Your sister sounds manipulative, and thank God there isn't a baby going into that environment. Not the asshole. You warned her and she was basically scamming people. Not the asshole. Your sister was exploiting everyone involved, and only had her boyfriend stay with her because she was supposedly pregnant. I doubt their relationship would have lasted either way. Not the asshole. Who the hell lies like that? Not the asshole. What was she going to do when it came time for baby and there's no baby? As for, she would get pregnant soon, sometimes it's not that easy. Scamming people is not on and you were right to speak up. That was a terrible lie and there were no good outcomes from it. Not the asshole. If I was in your position I'd do the same. Somebody told you this for a reason, man. And it sounds like she tried to trick your whole family into buying stuff for a future baby. You good op. Not the asshole. Therapy is needed here.